Okay, hey, how you doing? I'm going to show you a little tutorial here based off of the first assignment. So let's do some housekeeping first, okay? If your menu does not look like this, you will need to go to this gear down here at the bottom, and you will need to click on this gear and make sure it says 3D modeling. Okay? Now once you've done that, you need to go to the big letter A, because you'll want to make sure that it's set with the right measurements. Right now it's set for decimal, which is basically what we are going to leave it at the moment, or we could go ahead and do architectural. Remember, architectural is feet and inches. Decimals is just that, decimals, and it's measured in centimeters. Okay, so we're going to leave it in decimals right now. Now, one of the things you'll want to see is up here is this menu, because it's got the extrude and the press pull, and it has what you'll need probably in the future is copy edges. Okay, and this is your UCS right here. Very important when doing 3D modeling, as well as the world coordinate and your view coordinate. Okay, I am going to click here and go into wireframe because I'm going to do a 2D drawing first. Always try to do your 2D drawings first. This little symbol down here is worth its weight in gold. It's your Dynamic UCS. It allows you to select the face or the surface of an object momentarily. So you do not have to use the UCS. Okay? Now, I'm going to do an example of this drawing right here, which is part of your assignments. So, we are going to first come over here, make sure it's in southeast isometric. Very nice. Make sure the world is on. Very nice. If you need to navigate, here's home base. This takes you right back to home. And you can see the front, the top, the right, and then the other ones are in the back. So the first off is we're going to do a circle. You got to pay attention whether or not you're putting your measurements in radius or diameter. If it says radius, you need to put it in radius. If it says diameter, put it in diameter. Okay? So if it says diameter and you put it in radius, it'll be double the size. And you'll go, what did I do? So now we're going to draw the first circle. We are going to draw the second circle, because what we're drawing is this right here. We're drawing this circle and this outer circle. And then we're going to copy the circles for this circle and this outer circle. Okay? And so we'll simply do copy. We're copying it here. You see that circle, the middle of it? And you see this line when it does the green dash line? That tells me that it's a straight line. And if yours does not have that, let me show you how to activate that. You simply type OSNAP. And you'll want to make sure this is checked. These three are checked because it shows you endpoint, midpoint, center point, and it shows you the symbol that it makes when it hits that on the line, as well as intersection. Very important. Here's your object snap tracking. Very important too. And then you'll want to go to your polar tracking, make sure that's on. Make sure it's 15 degrees. You can make it whatever degrees you want. You can even add degrees or angles, no problem. But generally when you're doing a drawing, it's usually 0, 15, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Just like what we learned in trig. So now that we've got our circles, we want to know where we can draw our lines for our tangents on our circles. So we will go ahead and click on line. And we will draw us a line here. And we are going to move that line down to here. See, the triangle shows us the midpoint. The square shows us the circle. So now we are going to copy this line as well. There's the triangle. And there. Okay. So now we know where to put our lines. So we're going to put our line here and put our line here. So we don't have to guess where they're supposed to go. We know they're supposed to go there. Now we're going to get rid of some excess. So we're going to type trim from the trim command. Okay. Trim. Okay. From the trim command. We're going to click here and here. And you hit enter to reactivate the command that you just wanted. And now we've got this. I'm going to click on these, delete them. Now we've got the base for our drawing right here. This whole flat plate here. Okay. Now here's where it's kind of important. Either you're going to extrude the plate and then the circle, or the circle then the plate. Depending on which one you do will be your difficulty that you'll have. My suggestion is to do the circle first. Use press pull, do the circle, and now you can see that it's pulling it up. Okay. Now we've just extruded that. Now we are still in the press pull command. So we can press pull this up now. Okay. And we can exit. Now to look at it and to see if we did it the correct way, we can come to realistic. And we can see it looks like it. However, I did mine a little bit big right here. I can always come in here and click press pull again, take this, and either I can go positive or I can go negative. Okay? So if I zoomed in, I could actually just press pull it so far and it will change the width of it. Okay? Depending on what, the dimensions I give it. So now we've created this, but it does not look like it's facing the same direction. So we're having a bit of a problem there. So let's see what we can do to remedy that. We know that we have our Dynamic UCS on, but let's go ahead and pick the Z-axis vector, which looks like a number 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to press here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to point the Z where we want it. The Z is where the 3D is. Remember, X and Y is flat, but the Z is not. So if we do it here, it will rotate in a different pattern. If we do it here, it'll rotate in a different pattern. If you do it this way, and you're like, well, why can't we do it this way, Bob? Okay, so let's give it a try. Select everything. And let's go ahead and rotate this. Oh, look at that. Just like a handle. That's all it is. Okay? So that's not going to work. We make sure our world is here. Our southeast isometric. Now let's choose the Z. We can put it over here out in nowhere land. And now we can start rotating that Z around. Now, what do we want to where it'll stand up? Looks like this one would work right here. Okay? So you see my grid changed. So now let's try rotate. It will rotate in the direction that the grid is. So now we can go here. And now when we're rotating it, we can look and see. Remember, the green dashed lines tells us it's straight. So now we can come back over here. We can click world. Puts us right back. And we can move it. Because whenever you draw a 3D item, it keeps some of the trash material. So let's get rid of this. And so you can see we've just created this object right here. So then if we wanted to do move, okay, we can move it however, wherever we want to. Okay, we just moved it up on the Z-axis. If you look, remember the Z is up, so we're going to move it on the Z-axis like so. So it's above the grid. Remember what I discussed. The X and the Y, this corner here is 0. Anything below the grid is 0. So we want to put it in positive. Okay? So that's how you create the tool.